Hi everyone, this is Aisha Earning Wali and I am student in Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute Batch 21 Level 1. So today I'll come with another topic, discuss how to practice self-compassion and forgive yourself. On. Let's call Sesame Maya. Hey
Hey,
Maya.
Aisha. It's good to connect with you again. What's been on your mind lately?
Okay, so today my topic is discuss how to practice self compassion and forgive yourself from.
Self compassion. That's a really important one. It's something we're all working on, I think. People often find it way easier to extend compassion to others than to themselves. What's sparking your interest in this topic right now?
Okay, how would you define self compassion in the context of emotional well being?
Me. Self compassion isn't just about thinking nice thoughts when you screw up. It's actually three core components working together. First, recognizing that suffering is part of being human. Like everyone struggles sometimes. Second, practicing mindfulness so you're actually aware of your pain instead of shoving it down or getting lost in it. And finally, being kind to yourself, not harsh or judgmental when you're hurting. It's like being a good friend to yourself when you need it most. Does
Ye-
that make sense?
Yes. So my next question is, what are the key differences between self compassion and self esteem?
Mm, that's a good distinction to make because they get confused a lot. Self esteem depends on feeling special or above average, like you've achieved something, you're successful, you're worthy because of specific qualities. So it's conditional. Self compassion, though, it's not about being special or worthy at all. It's recognizing you're a human being who deserves care simply because you exist, whether you've succeeded or failed, whether you're considered good or bad by others. Self compassion doesn't need conditions. It's much more stable because it's built on the recognition of shared humanity, not on individual accomplishments. Rehan,
Yeah.
you just sounded a bit like you were trailing off.
No, no. My next question is that what psychological barriers prevent people from practicing self forgiveness?
Mm, that's a tough one, but I think there are a few main culprits. For many people, there's this deep-rooted belief that forgiving yourself means excusing bad behavior, letting yourself off the hook too easily. There's also this need for justice, like if you've done something wrong, you deserve to feel bad forever. And then there's shame. Hi. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with the transcription. Did you say hello or were you working through something else?
No.
Got it. Thanks for the
Okay,
clarif.
so my next question is, how does negative self talk impacts one's ability to show self compassion?
Negative self-talk is like pouring poison into the well of self-compassion. When you constantly beat yourself up with harsh criticisms, it creates this internal distance from your own pain. It makes you feel disconnected from whatever mistake you're making. Like instead of saying, this sucks, but I'm human and I'll try again, it turns into, you're so stupid. How could you do this? You'll never get better.
Yeah,
It's really hard to feel kind and gentle when that voice is constantly berating you. It shuts down that entire compassionate response.
yeah. So why do individuals often find it harder to forgive themselves than others?
I think it comes down to a couple things. First, we tend to hold ourselves to a much higher standard than we hold others. We can easily understand why someone else messed up, but when we do the same thing, it feels monumental. Then there's this belief that self forgiveness minimizes accountability. Like, if we forgive ourselves, we're letting ourselves off too easy and we might. You do what? I'm not quite following your thought there.
Yes, just tell me.
Tell you what, I'm happy to keep going on this topic, but could you clarify what you're asking me to tell you?
Uh, uh, I'll ask,
Take your time.
how does negative self
Sounds good.
that in what ways can mindfulness support the development of self-compassion?
Hmm. Mindfulness is actually kind of the bridge to self-compassion. It teaches you to be present with your pain without getting totally swept up in it, to just notice your negative thoughts or emotions without judging them as bad or wrong. That space between you and your suffering is where self-compassion can start. If you're constantly running away from your discomfort, you never have the chance to offer yourself kindness or understanding. Mindfulness gives you the awareness you need to actually see when you're suffering, and that's step one.
So my next question is, what should we do to, like, we didn't talk to ourselves negative way, negative self talk? How can we stop ourselves? And like, if we are busy, so we are not going to be negative. But if we when we are free, that thoughts again come to our mind.
That's exactly what happens, isn't it? When you're busy, those thoughts can be quiet. And then as soon as your mind has downtime, boom, there they are. So there are a couple of things that can help. One, when you catch yourself going down that path, just name it. Like literally say to yourself, oh, here's that negative self talk again. That creates some distance. Two, challenge it. Ask yourself, would I ever talk to a friend the way I'm talking to myself? Then three, practice self compassion statements like, this is a difficult moment, or I'm doing my best. Over time, it becomes more automatic. It takes work, though, like building any new habit.
Okay. So what role does guilt play in the process of self forgiveness?
Guilt gets a really bad rap, honestly. Healthy guilt can actually be really important for self forgiveness. If you feel guilty about something you did, that means you care about your values and that you recognize you did something that didn't align with them. The problem comes when that guilt turns into shame or self condemnation. Healthy guilt is like saying, I did something wrong and I want to make amends. That's constructive. Toxic shame is like, I am wrong and I'm a bad person. That's destructive. So self forgiveness isn't about pretending you didn't do anything wrong. It's about acknowledging your actions, making amends when possible, and then letting yourself move forward.
But it's gonna be saying is easy, but it's really difficult for most of the people to self forgiveness, especially
You
when
are
it comes
so,
to the guilt.
especially with guilt, exactly. Because the guilt can be so intense, it just feels like you're minimizing the harm you caused if you forgive yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you're saying it wasn't actually that bad or you're not taking responsibility. But it's actually the opposite. Truly forgiving yourself means you have fully acknowledged the harm. You've held yourself accountable, and now you're choosing to move forward without letting that guilt consume you forever. Most people think forgiveness is about letting yourself off the hook, but it's really about setting yourself free.
But sometimes, like we said, that we forgive ourselves, but some guilts are like this, that we are want to come out from these like these situations, or or like that that we matlab, leave the situations, and we go want to go move forward. But if we are like sensitive person and we feel everything, then it's gonna be very difficult for a person to self forgive, and to like to stay behind the things and move forward.
You're getting at something really
Although we
profound there.
know that these things are going to uh, like
Although,
these things are not good for us, and we are like innerly we are not happy, and we like want to move forward, but we can't.
exactly. You're describing this painful paradox where you intellectually understand what you need to do to heal. You want to move forward, dwelling on it isn't helping, but your emotions just won't let you go. The feeling side of you doesn't follow the logic. As someone who's highly sensitive, your emotions are your superpower, but they're also exactly what makes this process way harder. There's a real difference between forgiving yourself intellectually versus emotionally. It's not that you're doing it wrong, it's that your emotions are going to need more time and care to catch up with your brain.
So tell me, like, what practical strategies can help someone begin practicing self-compassion daily?
Okay, let's get practical. Start small. Try self compassion breaks. These are super useful when you're feeling stressed or beating yourself up. You literally say to yourself, this is a moment of suffering. Then, suffering is a part of life. And then, may I be kind to myself right now? It's a 3-step thing that takes like 30 seconds. You can also start a self compassion journal, write yourself letters from a kind friend, and really start noticing that inner critic. Just recognize the voice, don't have to change it right away. Oh, and one big one is to choose your self talk. If you catch yourself thinking something unkind, pause and literally reframe it differently. Like, okay, I messed this up, but that doesn't define me. Start there.
So you should tell me, how can past mistake be reframed as opportunities for growth?
That's a really powerful shift in mindset. One way to look at it is remembering that every mistake is data, information about what doesn't work for you. It's not about beating yourself up over it. It's about saying, okay, this didn't go well. What can I learn from it? Then you start thinking of failures as experiments, not catastrophes. Like, I tried this, it didn't work. Now I know I shouldn't do that again. What's my next experiment? And honestly, making mistakes also builds resilience because the more you work through them, the less power they have over you.
Yeah. So tell me, how can therapy or counseling support the development of self-compassion?
Therapy can be incredible for this, honestly. A good therapist can give you that safe, non judgmental space to really explore the roots of your self criticism and unpack patterns that started ages ago. It can help you challenge the negative self talk, build coping mechanisms, and teach you those self compassion techniques in a more structured way. Plus, sometimes you need someone else to model self compassion to you, to treat you with the kindness you struggle to give yourself. It's like practicing with someone who gets it, and it can be way more effective than trying to do it all on your own.
Yeah. So my last question is, what long-term benefits arise from consistently practicing self-forgiveness?
Okay, long term, it's pretty huge. Consistent self forgiveness leads to better mental health, less anxiety, depression, burnout. You build more emotional resilience, so when life inevitably throws curveballs, you bounce back faster, you have stronger relationships, because when you're not constantly judging yourself, you're less likely to judge others. Ultimately, you create this sense of internal freedom. You're not stuck in the past, reliving every mistake. You can move forward with more confidence and a sense of peace. It's honestly like giving yourself permission to live a fuller, more authentic life.
Yes, exactly. It would be a great conversation with you. I have learned a lot. Today's session is going to be amazing. So I hope it would be helpful for my audience as well. Thank you so much, Maya, uh, for like great conversation with you. Take care.
That's so good to hear, Aisha. I'm really glad you found it helpful. You're doing important work by bringing these conversations to your audience.